I want to start with driver safety. As you all know, accident prevention is our North Star. We don't shy away from saying that our mission is zero harm. We want to save lives. It's one of the reasons why we're able to attract such exceptional talent to this company, and I am proud to say that we're making serious progress on this front. In a study of customers who deployed the Motive AI Dashcam over the past year, we observed an 80% reduction in the collision rate. This is only possible because of our multi-year investment in AI. Today, we detect more than 15 different safety events: cell phone use, close following, unsafe lane changes, distraction, and we do it with incredible accuracy. And in 2025, we will release more than 10 new AI models. To give you a preview of what is to come, let's bring up Nihar, our head of driver safety.
Thank you, Shoaib. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. Let's start with the impact of AI-powered unsafe parking detection, which we previewed at Vision 24 last year. It happens all too frequently on high-speed highways, on narrow two-lane roads. Drivers pull over, unaware they become a sitting duck, whether for a moment with their phone, a few minutes of rest, or a mechanical issue. But unsafe parking is deadly. 600 lives are lost every year in stopped vehicle collisions, and 15,000 people are injured annually. Since launching, it's been incredible to see the real-world impact. And because we use computer vision, not just telematics and map data, we enable a much higher level of accuracy. Now, when a driver parks unsafely, you get an immediate alert giving you the chance to call or message them and intervene. But alerts are just the beginning. We want to make it even easier for you to take action right in the moment. With one click, you can call or message your driver directly from the Motive dashboard or the Fleet app, saving precious minutes trying to locate driver info. You'll also have the option to let Motive call or message on your behalf automatically. You can live stream directly into the vehicle to get real-time context, and you'll see a live counter, just like you see here, showing how long the vehicle has been unsafely parked. Okay, let's bring on Daniel Patterson from Western Express to hear how it's already making such a difference for their fleet. All right, Daniel, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's start with the problem statement. I mean, tell us a bit about the problems that you were experiencing, that your fleet was experiencing with unsafe parking events or sitting duck scenarios, as they're often called.
Yeah, the problem really stems from the lack of safe truck parking in the industry, right? It's one of the biggest problems that we face. It's something that trucking associations and agencies have been trying to address. So what that does is it creates a situation where at the end of the driver's day, they can't find a place to park. They end up parking on the side of the road. And what I would challenge each of you is when you go home, try to count how many trucks you see parked on the side of the road. So the behavior is very common. What's not as common is when there's an accident involved because of that. So what we see is where a driver is parked on the side of the road and somebody's going at highway speeds and they make contact with an 80,000-pound vehicle, which is a life-changing accident involving serious injury or even fatalities.
It makes a lot of sense. So what kind of impact now are you seeing with these real-time unsafe parking alerts?
Yeah, so first I want to thank Motive for taking on this challenge. So this was really something that our owner holds very near and dear to his heart. And as soon as we started with Motive, made that phone call and said, hey, we have this problem. We don't know how to solve it. We'd really like for you to step in and help us to solve that. So that's what this AI has allowed us to do. Today, what we have is an automated process. When we get that notification, the driver receives a text message. They also receive a message on their tablet. That notification goes to the driver's manager as well as our safety team so they can follow up with that driver, make sure they get to a safe place to park. And in addition to that, what we've found is we also have situations where a driver has a breakdown event and they're on the side of the road. We're able to engage with that driver, make sure they're putting on their flashers, making sure that they have their triangles out, and then to follow up with our breakdown team to get them expedited help as well.
Incredible. So incredible to hear the impact this is having for fleets like yours. Thank you for sharing that with us today, Daniel.
Thank you.
Okay. Unsafe parking is just one of the many risks your drivers face when they stop in the wrong place. But what about when they're struggling to stay in the right place while driving? We've all seen near misses that could have been deadly. In fact, 79% of fatigue-related collisions exhibit lane swerves. One safety manager told us about a driver who was swerving in and out of their lane multiple times over a few minutes before nearly sideswiping a passing vehicle. The driver insisted they were fine, but when they checked the footage, they saw the swerving had been happening long before that near miss. Maybe they were fighting fatigue, distracted by their phone, or reaching for something in the cab. A single lane departure might not seem that alarming, but what if they keep swerving in and out of that lane? That's where the real risk is. That's why we're launching AI-powered lane swerving detection, the first and only solution that doesn't just flag a single lane departure. Our AI analyzes repeated lane swerves over time, helping you spot risky driving before it turns into a collision. Instead of isolated alerts, you'll see all occurrences in a single event timeline to give you kind of full context into what's happening. And real-time in-cab alerts will notify drivers to correct their behavior immediately. You'll also be able to fully customize the number of lane swerves and the duration over which those swerves occur. Lane swerving is often one of the first signs of fatigue, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. Fatigue builds over time with subtle warning signs, and when it goes unnoticed, the consequences can be deadly. We've all seen the headlines. A driver falls asleep at the wheel, drifts off the road or into oncoming traffic, and in an instant, lives are changed forever. Drowsy driving is a huge risk for fleets like yours. In fact, fatigue contributes to nearly 100,000 crashes and 800 deaths every single year. And the scariest part, tired drivers are 3 times more likely to be involved in a collision. Fatigue isn't a single moment. It's a pattern of behaviors that build over time. I was talking to a fleet that's here today, just last week. They recently had a driver that drifted across the center line and struck a guardrail. Initially, they thought a mechanical issue. Then they looked at the footage from the previous 30 minutes, and what they saw was lane drifts, speed fluctuations, subtle overcorrections. The driver later admitted, "I knew I was tired, but I thought I could push through." What if you can identify those cues earlier and help that driver? Think about what happens when a driver starts getting tired. They will frequently yawn, often deeply and repeatedly. They will also commonly rub their eyes with increasing frequency and intensity as they struggle to maintain focus. They stop moving as much. Their body slows down. Their hands stay fixed on the wheel for longer periods of time. Until now, fleets haven't had visibility into all the indicators of fatigue before it's too late. That's why we built Motive's Fatigue Index, analyzing yawning, lane swerving, and nearly 10 other behaviors, as you see here, like lack of movement and abnormal speed changes. We detect fatigue early, combining these signals with telematics, time of day, and drive time to predict risk before an accident happens. However, training AI to detect something as dangerous and complex as driver fatigue requires a colossal amount of data. And for most companies, that's a major roadblock. But Motive is rewriting the rules. We're embracing generative AI to create tens of thousands of incredibly realistic fatigue scenarios to train our AI. These look real, but this is all synthetic data, lifelike recreations of actual driving patterns. It's truly amazing what can be achieved with today's AI technology. And the impact is clear. We're dramatically accelerating AI development. And for you, That means detecting fatigue risk earlier than ever before to keep tired drivers off the road. Now, when high fatigue risk is detected, an alert is sent to both the driver and manager for immediate action. And on a single timeline, you can see how different behaviors connect, giving you a clear, complete picture of fatigue risk. Now, what if you could prevent a collision before it happened? With AI-powered detection, you don't have to wait for disaster to take action. You can stop a driver from dozing off before they drift onto the shoulder or into oncoming traffic. You can catch lane swerving before it turns into a violent sideswipe. You can intervene before an unsafely parked vehicle becomes a deadly crash site. With Motive, you get more visibility, more control, more lives saved. Thank you. I'm going to hand it back to Shoaib.
Thank you, Nihar. It's awesome to see the breadth of behaviors that we're detecting to prevent collisions in your operations, and how we're working with so many of you to actually do it. I still remember Daniel telling me about the sitting duck problem, as he called it, and thinking to myself, we can absolutely solve this problem. And to think that less than a year later, we have.